My professional name is Roslyn Alexander. When I was at Northwestern, I was Rosalind Yastro. That was my maiden name. And my brothers also matriculated at Northwestern, so there's a Yastro family tradition here. And my married name is Rosalind Grodson, which you can see why I took another professional name. My first director said, "You're not going to say Rosalind Grodson, are you?" And when I was at Northwestern, I was a major in theater. In those days, I don't know how it is today, but we had a choice of 50-50 or 60-40. 60 hours in theater and 40 in the regular liberal arts. Well, I must have looked like I was going to burst into tears because he looked like he didn't want to continue this conversation. He said, "Why don't you stand over there against the wall and I'll have the Dean of Women speak to you." She came, I still remember that lovely WASP lady. "My dear," she said, "we have a waiting list of 26 girls. But if you want to take a chance," she said, "I have a friend with a garage apartment that she rents to graduate students, but the graduate students aren't here yet. So if you want to stay there a couple of nights and wait, we may have some cancellations." I was willing to do anything because I could not picture myself taking my little suitcase and going home again. I waited. On the second day, I get a call, "Come to her office." I thought, well, this is the kiss-off. She said, "Miss Yastro, we have a room for you." I said, "You mean 26 girls dropped out?" She said, "No, dear. One, a Jewish girl from Argentina, couldn't get here. And you see, we have one other Jewish girl in the dorm without a roommate, and we don't permit Christian girls to live with Jewish girls." So I got the room. They probably went right down the list of 26 to find the Jewish girl who could live with Miss Fabe. So, because of that bigoted rule, I got my room. There was no Jewish life on campus, except for Hillel. As I said, it wasn't cool to go to Hillel, but that was the only thing that a Jew could do to enhance his Jewish life, or hers. I was invited by my roommate, who was a friend of somebody, maybe it was Rabbi Pekarsky, and we went a Friday night, and I think we went one other time. But it was considered, and I don't know why, I'm sure it wasn't fair, but it was considered like if you couldn't have a date, and if you were not popular, and if you had no other friends, you ended up at Hillel. That was the picture we had. So I never took advantage of it, unfortunately. I am so very impressed. I am impressed that the Jewish community at large, like the JUF, maintains this space for you. It's got class, and all the comforts for services and meals and programs, and it's just a boon for a campus that wants a Jewish community. And I'm so proud of the Jewish community of Chicago that permits you to have this, and that the university, I'm sure, is very cooperative. It would not have been thus in my day. So I heard, and I later found that it was true. Now maybe the details aren't true, but there was a man from the East named Murphy who offered many millions of dollars to build a technological building on campuses in the East with the, what do you call it, when you make a stipulation in a lease? No Jewish professors allowed. I don't know if Jewish students were allowed, but no Jewish professors. And many universities in the East refused the money. Northwestern took it. And one of their illustrious professors was Butts, the famous Holocaust denier. But that was the rumor, and you know, the strange thing about it that young people today just can't understand, we accepted it. We accepted it passively. We were glad we got here, and we didn't want to make waves. But that was the picture of how Jews lived in this country, with all our freedoms. Why didn't we rise up when the government wouldn't accept Jews in Europe in the 30s? We were afraid. We were afraid it would be bad for us because there was such overt anti-Semitism. Young people don't understand today. They can't understand how we grew up. Our own school teachers were anti-Semitic and let us know. So this fear permeated our whole society, and as we felt about ourselves as Jews. We were glad for whatever crumbs were thrown our way. The theater community in Chicago is very, open, and a lot of Jews in theater and artists, and they're much more liberal. So it really didn't affect until after I was working for a few years, I got a part in a play as a Jewish mother. And it was so successful, we went to New York for 2 years, we toured the East Coast, the West Coast. The playwright became famous because of it, and then he wrote a series of other plays about the same family, and I was always the mother. What happened was, it not only, of course, enlarged my career, but it typed me. And I'm sure I didn't get other jobs because, oh, Roz Alexander, she's that Jewish actress who plays the mother in Jim Sherman's plays. It's impossible to have a career and not work on Shabbat. So I've kind of rationalized it, and it's a weakness, I know, but I love theater, I love doing it, and I think there's great value in theater as a teaching tool, as a tool to awaken people's sensibilities. So I don't go out to eat during a performance. Like if you have 2 Saturday performances, I don't go to the restaurant, I bring my lunch. I give tzedakah more than the amount that I would earn on that particular night. And try to make up for it. I go to services Saturday morning. So, but that's a compromise. And I'm not proud of it, but I made that compromise. Other than that, I've been fortunate. Well, it's not unique. Everybody that I enjoy, most people I ever talk to enjoy Passover. I wouldn't give it up. People say after the children are gone and you're invited out, why do you bother? I don't consider it a bother. I think it's a wonderful experience. As it says in the Haggadah, you were there. It's as if you were there. And I think that experience of reliving the Exodus is it's inspirational. You think about what you would have been. What would you have been if your ancestors hadn't been courageous enough to come to this country? If my grandmother hadn't taken all her children and said, we're going to America with no money, no language, no jobs, no welfare to help them along like refugees have now, we would have been in the ovens. So that kind of a journey, makes you think of there, but for the grace of God, it's worthwhile to think of those things, to think of the journey our people have made, where we were and what we've come to be, and what is your part in that journey. Go Cats!